Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is a pleasure to participate in this year's reception to celebrate the outcome of the Proverse Literary Competition, and I am pleased to have had my latest book recognised with a supplementary prize awarded by the judges for a work of fiction, the title of which is Blue Dragon Spring. Blue Dragon Spring is the final novel in the Celestial Symbols series, a quartet of crime and mystery novels set in Hong Kong between 1964 and 1980, and which can be read as standalone novels or sequentially. While each book has a strong association with classic crime writing, featuring strong and rather complex plots, William Wordsworth in the Sunday Morning Post observed of the second novel, Tiger Autumn, that my writing style is entertaining as well as meeting the requirements of genre. Much appreciated compliment. And in addition, I am sensitive to the fact that the social fabric reflected in each book should reflect the Hong Kong of its time as authentically as possible. This involves endless poring over Hal Ebson's wonderful book called Mapping Hong Kong, in a valiant attempt to reflect the street layouts and streetscapes of 1964, 1975, 1979 and 1980, the years in which Tiger Autumn, Redbird Summer, Black Tortoise Winter and Blue Dragon Spring are set. In launching this novel, Blue Dragon Spring, I know I will find it difficult to leave behind characters who have lived in my head as well as on the page during the past decade, and I have well and truly come to understand why so many writers stay with the same series during the entirety of their writing careers. I have watched the chief protagonist, Pearl Green, mature from a flighty, headstrong teenager into a fine woman, albeit one forever doomed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and consequently always in trouble. Nothing changes for Pearl in Blue Dragon Spring, in which Hong Kong enters 1980 in a very restless mood, which matches Pearl's state of mind. China's doors have opened to foreign investments, Hong Kong's manufacturing base is in decline, and the number of illegal immigrants continues to grow. Meanwhile, many Hong Kong residents depart, their confidence in the future already affected by speculation about the handover to China following the expiry of Britain's lease many years down the track. In January 1980, Tony Smith, who is the illegitimate son of Hong Kong's most powerful gangster and nephew of tycoon Yip Yee Kun, abandons his role as leader of the Wo Luan Shing Triad, which is based in the walled city of Kowloon, and returns to England where he was educated. His departure unleashes family secrets which almost decimate the Yip Empire, while other criminal groups in the infamous city use his exes to seize power. Yes, I realise I have used the T word. For the duration of my 3 previous novels, there has been some references and a little direct action involving triads. It's difficult to write about crime and Hong Kong and ignore their existence after all, and I have previously given the relevant action a bit of a twist in the tail. Blue Dragon Spring is no exception, and I can assure you that even though my favourite tycoon's nephew forsakes his inherited leadership of the city's most powerful gang, which is followed by chaos naturally, the action has a certain slapstick choreography made possible by the wonderful Hua Leung, chauffeur to the inimitable Yip Yee Kun. A month or two after Smith quits, we find Pearl Green in attendance at a conference in England in her role of director of the Hong Kong-based June Bowen Foundation. She witnesses a worrying incident in Soho which causes her London-based father, James Gates, to make an unexpected trip to Hong Kong after he links this and another recent incident to a Hong Kong source. During the flight, James encounters a beautiful Eurasian woman wearing Tony Smith's distinctive dragon sapphire ring, a ring worn only by the leader of the Wo Luan Sheng. It can only mean Smith is dead. James is appalled at the woman's overt display of power and assigns his men on the ground in Hong Kong, Peter Benson, occasional Home Office operative, and Yip Yee Kun's flappable chauffeur Hua Leung to follow the woman with the blue dragon ring and discover what she plans on contributing to the palpable restlessness abroad in Hong Kong in the opening months of the new decade. It is exciting to complete a book and follow it to publication. And tonight I have an additional cause to welcome Blue Dragon Spring into the world. A pre-launch review by Joe Darlington in Manchester Review of Books declares that this final novel in the series, and I quote, paints a picture of a bygone era, but one not so bygone, still in fact alive in many residents' memories. Its freedoms, after all, were, in the main, still enjoyed until only a few months ago. Their disappearance coincided with our own lockdown, but it will take more than a vaccine to restore them. As the novel ends by saying, all seems well enough in Hong Kong, but for how long? This places the novel in a curious position, both current and nostalgic, hard-boiled and cynical, and yet still glamorous and dazzling. It is a fitting finale to the four directions and a hell of a page-turner. End of quote. Most of us who write do so for the love of us, never consciously looking for recognition as we develop frown lines from doing battle with the written word. It is a joy to receive commendation for one's work, and I am extremely grateful also to Gillian and Verna Bickley for the consistent support they have given me during this most exciting phase of my writing career. I hope you enjoy reading Blue Dragon Spring. Thank you all and good night.